Zimbabwe has had a number of difficulties on the international stage with its economy. What do you do? What are the priorities that you have to really declare that you're really open for business?
Thank you very much. I know the first thing to do is that we want to change, to rebrand Zimbabwe, to change to say that Zimbabwe is open for business. What it means is that we need to open up the economy for both the local investors and the foreign investors. So at least we have a quantum leap. We've been a sleeping giant, and we now want to make sure that we do what is right for the country by inviting all the foreign investors, the domestic investors, and then we can pay on the run.
Well, let's start with the foreign investors, because those are some of the people that are watching us right now. If I'm a foreign investor, how do you persuade me that this is a good place to put my money?
We have since changed the indigenization policy. We have amended it to ensure that all the companies and all the projects, we can do with them without even having the indigenization, the 51% threshold, except for diamonds and the platinum sector.
And we wind up having some bullet points here that shows that since November, you've seen $7 billion of investment commitments and $3 billion in deals for China investments just in the last 2 weeks. What country do you expect to see the most inbound investment?
We expect the whole global economy to...
But who would you be courting? I mean, are you really just courting China at the end of the day?
We not on China. Yes, China is involved because we have a number of projects that are there. We also talk about the Western countries, UK, Germany, France. There are a number of companies there. You know about the Totals of this world. There are French companies and the British company, the Bulk, and all those companies. So we want them to expand in Zimbabwe.
How do you provide assurances to foreign investors that if they invest their money, that they can get the money back out? They can make money and they can get it back out.
You are right. Right now, you also know that Zimbabwe is going through foreign currency shortages, and definitely, therefore, by opening up the economy, we are saying that we need more companies coming into the country, and then others will come in and others will going out, and therefore, that's why we are saying Zimbabwe, it is open for business, the economy is open, so at the end of the day, others will come in, portfolio investors, and others will obviously be going out, and therefore we have ring-fenced the portfolio investment facilities. So at the end of the day, companies can take money out of the country.
You mentioned natural resources. I think you mentioned palladium, right? What areas specifically of Zimbabwe do you think that you can sell the best to foreign investors? Three
places. The first one is that if you look at mining, we've got a number of minerals in Zimbabwe that are unexploited. We've got gold, we've got a quantum of about 13 million tons of gold under reserves. Underground, we also have platinum, the second largest country in Africa to produce after South Africa in terms of producing platinum. We've got lithium, we've got copper, we've got nickel, all those products. And therefore mining is the first core which can invite investors to come and take. And then that way, we will know that they will create foreign currency. And then the second part is agriculture. We've got a very good climate in Zimbabwe. The soils are good, perfect for tobacco, perfect for horticulture. And the fourth also tourism, the seventh wonder of the world, over the Vic Falls. So those areas, if people invest and invest well, Zimbabwe can be a hub of Africa in terms of transport hub of Africa.
Is land reform one of your priorities? Because when it comes to agriculture, certainly Zimbabwe has the potential to generate a lot, but there have been some difficulties as a practical matter in really getting the most out of the soil.
Yes, but right now it will be resolved. The new administration has dealt with, as I said, the investment climate, has dealt with the land reform, has dealt with compensation. We're talking about compensation for the farmers, oil farmers, and that way we know that at least investors will not be at least secure in Zimbabwe.
How do you reintroduce a currency?
Very simple. Once we've got three fundamentals that have been resolved. The first one is that we've got a foreign currency buffer that is sufficient enough to ensure that there's a convertibility. And secondly, we need fiscal consolidation to ensure that at least they don't have demand, which we create from a fiscal imbalance. So those are the two fundamentals. And one that is achieved, it means then we're then able to have our own currency, and that requires also Zimbabwe to have access to foreign finance. Once you've got foreign finance, which we do, say, leverage using our minerals, then that way you can also have our own currency once the reserves are high enough to ensure that there'll be full convertibility.